Hello, and welcome to you who understand the importance of philosophy. Today I offer you an existential perspective on being and the Logos. Being and the Logos are two fundamental notions of Western philosophy closely related. Being appears with Parmenides as the ultimate principle of thought. The Logos with the Stoics as the rationality that governs the world, a principle disseminated throughout the universe. With Aristotle, metaphysics becomes the science of being as being, and logic the organon through which reason grasps being. But closer to us, Heidegger, rediscovering a pre-understanding of being, becomes wary of logic, which he considers a derivation from a conception of beings that forgets being itself. Being is given to us as both one and multiple, and the question of its first principle is raised in Plato's Parmenides. Things appear as unities, but are also given in their plurality, and are themselves composed as multiplicities in act. Thus, the one and the many are the two fundamental principles of being. But being is only given to us through beings, that is, through the things that are, in their multiplicity and in their form. And these things which become objects for us appear to us as structures. In other words, we do not access being in its nakedness, but through multiplicities of objects and relations. It is here that the Logos can be redefined. The Logos is not simply an abstract reason. It is the very deployment of being as it gives itself to reason. The Logos is the deployment of being in structure, in concepts, in history, in nature. It is therefore a mediation between being in itself, which escapes us, and reason, which apprehends it under the conditions of human existence. And this apprehension always takes place through fundamental forms: number, space, and time. What unfolds in the Logos is what is disclosed of being, and this is what we call the truth. Truth is not a construction, it is the disclosure of being, and logic thus becomes the formal science of the Logos as structure, but it does not create truth. It articulates the conditions of knowledge, which is a just apprehension of being. But in this deployment of the Logos, one thing appears. It is the infinity of being that manifests itself in the finite forms of reason. Thus truth rests upon an infinite principle, and reason itself must therefore recognize its own finitude.